Well, hello, and welcome back to the Miscellaneous Debris Podcast with me, your host, the Mad Chatter Ryan MK. And I do mean welcome back, Mad Caps, because it's been a fucking minute, hasn't it? And I know. Said that a few times recently. It's been rough, Mad Caps. I mean, as you are all aware, those of you listening, those that maybe this is your first episode, welcome to the madness. Okay, bear with me if you're new. Recently moved into the new apartment complex, went through that whole ordeal, right? The wife's surgery, everything. Things are finally getting back to normal, and bam! Prepatellar bursitis in my left knee. Now, I'm still dealing with that because there's still a pocket of liquid in there. There's still some shit going on in my knee. I need to get it drained. But alas, I go see the doctor this Friday. So I didn't finally get to see the doc, see my doc, see what she has to say about the fucking knee. So we go from there, right? But it doesn't stop. It doesn't fucking stop. No. Then I go back to work. I missed a day, continuing to let the knee heal. I'm trying to go back as far as I can because I'm not sure what all I said on the last pod. I think there was just the knee stuff. So then I get into my car issues. Let me tell you. I missed my first day back at work, or my first day of work. So then I go back to work on the second day of the work week. And on the way home, or on the way to, I should say, the car dies. Right when I get off the interstate. Luckily not on the interstate. So then I miss another day of work so I can try and get the car situation figured out. I had recently gotten oil changed. The wife did. Now, normally we go to the mechanics. We use our mechanic for the oil change. It's just one of those things with all the moving and everything. It was just way past due. We had to get it done. She's out and about. Hey, Big O tires, oil change? Sure. Bam, bam. Next thing you know, issues with the car. Temperature lights coming on, acting wacky, and then dying on me on the way to work. So I leave my area of work that day, and my car will get a little ways and then die. Get a little ways and then die. And every time it dies, I have to wait a good 30, 40 minutes for it to fucking chill out. I finally, after several restarts, get it back to fucking Big O Tires, who did the goddamn oil change. And then I Uber home. And then I'm told, when I call them back, oh yeah, because they never fucking called me when they were done. I call them. And what they tell me is everything's fine. I can come pick it up. They had it running in the garage for 2 hours and then took it for a test drive and had no issues whatsoever. What the fuck? So am I just making up that it died 5 times on the way here? No, not at all. Wouldn't make that up. Assholes. I think you might be making up exactly how much attention you paid to my fucking car. So I say, whatever. I go back, I get the car. Dies on me again as I'm driving home. I call Big O Tires. Fuck Big O Tires. Fuck Big O Tires in their big O ass. You know what I mean? Call them, give them an earful. Do you want to bring it back in? No, I don't want to fucking bring it back in. I want to drive my car through your store. Not really. That would really beat the shit out of my car, I mean, it's already fucked. Anyway. So we get the car taken to my mechanic. They say there's a negative on the head gasket. Now, there can be false negatives, but he's also saying some issues with some of the temperature sensors inside the like under the hood. So they go in and find out, yeah, shit's fucked up. They fix it. And now shit should be good, right? Except for no. I get my car back. I drive it home. I think everything's fine. This was last week. I think everything's fine. And then I go to work Wednesday and I'm good on the way to work. But on the way home, fucking dies on me. So frustrating. So then we go through a whole ordeal. Spent a week looking for a car. At one point, my mom rented a car for me to go pick up. And after waiting at the car place in line for an hour and a half, I'm told, unless my mother is there, I can't take the car. Of course, she's up in Breckenridge. So, no, she's not here. So then, let's just say, between fixing my car and all the Ubering, I spent too much money. And my car still was not fixed. So our option was, we had been talking about financing a vehicle for my wife anyway. So we decided to go ahead and do that. And after going to a few shitty places and wasting way too much fucking time, because it is difficult. I mean, we neither one of us were used to, popping out $3,000 to $6,000 to get in a used vehicle. It lasts for a few years, whatever, and then you do it all over again. Sounds terrible, but that's what pretty much the both of us have done. So, not great credit, first time buyers is a rough go. But finally found something, good deal, good warranty, not too old of a car, not too many miles. Got lucky. Finally. A little bit of a break, a little bit of a break that we needed. And but it has been insane. Fucking insane. I'm telling you, the worst part was the car rental place and being in there, and there's all these fucking asshole travelers, and you're just like, fucking too many people in this goddamn building, and how many of these motherfuckers are mad? Do you have to be vaccinated to travel? Whew, shit, I hope so. Like, it's just nerve-wracking being around. So I'm sorry. Maybe some of y'all are comfortable. But I got a wife and one of the kids at home that would be highly susceptible. And I smoke cigarettes, so I don't want to catch that shit neither. Vaccinated or not, my friends. No. We'll get into some of that chatter here in a little bit. But that was my shitty week, shitty couple of weeks, shitty period of time. I'm hoping things chill out a little bit now. It was madness enough getting into the apartment, dealing with the wife's surgery, then to turn around after a brief respite. Is that what it is? Respite. Just a brief pause, and then to get pummeled with the knee thing and the car thing back to back. Car thing is mostly resolved. Still got to get my car back to the mechanic to see if it is indeed the head gasket, which at this point it kind of appears to be. And if so, I'll be looking for a vehicle too. But that's okay. We're doing all right now. We're doing all right. We're better. And I see the doctor this Friday. Drain my goddamn knee. Make that a little easier to deal with. Things are looking up. So if you wondered why I haven't been around in a minute, I did record something last week, and then I just could never get it out because of the car bullshit. What a fucking mess, What a fucking mess. But we move on. And, past the midpoint of October, not too far from Halloween, right? Got decorations going up. Everybody's getting in the Halloween spirit. Still working on getting the kids' costumes, those little something. Got to decorate those pumpkins. Now you want to wait till closer to Halloween, right? So they don't go bad before, the big night. So we still got some time on the pumpkins, but we got to get those done. And Halloween movies, been pumping out a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas. As you see, I always have my, wonderful Jack Skellington displayed. Yes, that's right. He's my guy. He's my fucking guy. That guy. That's right. Just trying to think outside the box, do a little something different for Halloween. And he fucked up. Shit fucked up. Hey, it happens. We make mistakes, right? You got to learn from it. And he does. He does. Like that story. My guy, Jack Skellington. So, been a lot of that going around. The soundtrack being played, of course. Been doing, let's see, what else is there? The Wife Loves Hocus Pocus, right? We actually did the Haunted Mansion earlier. They were watching some of the kids were the Muppets Haunted Mansion, and that's kind of some funny shit. But I don't mind the Muppets. I don't know. So yeah, definitely with the Halloween, we're gonna watch Ernest Scared Stupid. If you have not seen Ernest Scared Stupid, see, probably next week, I'm gonna get down on my top Halloween movies. So I can't keep rambling about them here. We're just gonna have to save it. We're gonna have to save it. But I gotta get into these costumes. We're running out of time for the costumes. 4-year-old for some reason just wants to be a pumpkin. I don't know. I thought he wanted. Previously he wanted to be a cupcake. So, I guess if anything, the pumpkin's going to be easier to find. I feel like, definitely than the cupcake. And then the 7-year-old wants to be a Five Nights at Freddy's character. Now, this is it's an interesting because it's creepy. The Five Nights at Freddy. If you don't know what it is, it's like a game, mobile game, and it's like a haunted pizza parlor basically, and there's some pretty creepy characters in there, But the 7-year-old, he loves the shit, right? But it also scares him sometimes. And it's like, dude, you got to remember, like, if we need to, we can keep you, we can take that shit off so you can't see that stuff. So you can't play it, whatever. Like, I don't know. I guess it's one of those, parenting debates, at what age or whatever do you let your kid watch and do certain things, and what is content appropriate for certain ages, and I guess just the kind of where I was at maturity wise, my age, my dad let me watch a lot of stuff. I think he felt, and I've talked about his parenting style before, just the whole idea, like, I'd rather you're going to want to watch this shit anyway. If you're going to watch it here with me so I can answer questions, remind you this is a fucking movie, like things like that. And that always made sense to me, and it rang true. And I would sit here and say, hey, look, it happened to me and I'm not fucked up, but I'm plenty fucked up. But it has nothing to do with that, I would say, I believe. But, it is kind of an interesting debate. Like, there's different parenting. I just definitely, I don't want to do the whole, be too strict and what's the word I'm looking for? Like, shelter them, that's the word I'm looking for. I don't want to be like that. So, as they're ready, I want them to expand their horizons with whatever. I want them to follow their dreams, believe that they can do what they want to do. And I know the whole content thing can be an interesting debate for sure, but we have our style and it works. And, we would never let our kids be around some, get into anything that they couldn't handle or that we didn't believe they were capable of handling. I should say. So, but yeah, I don't know. I liked creepy, scary stuff when I was a kid too. So I get it. I get it. And he wants to be a character. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. We'll see. Oh, yeah. But all right. So we're going to get into it. Thank you for bearing with me through that opening rant and all the just craziness that's been going on, the insanity. And hopefully it slows down a little bit. So take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and get into our news and sports section, chat up that stuff. And then, got the good old story time. That's right. Got not quite as humorous a story this time, but an interesting story nonetheless. And then, of course, my Mad Six list this week in the theme, keeping in the theme of Halloween. We do horror movies. That's right. Top 6 horror movies, the Mad Six. So we'll excuse me. I don't know what the hell happened. My voice just went, my throat just was like, but I'm good. I'm good. That was weird. Anyway, cap it off with the Mad Six. And hey, it's going to be a fun pod. So quick break. We'll be back to get into news and shits. That's where we at, Mad Caps. All right, we back. Let me wet my gullet real quick with some tea, because it's the Mad Tea Party at the Miscellaneous Debris Podcast. So, this COVID shit, people. I was rambling about it. Talked a lot about, there's a good chunk of stuff here in this section that I talked on the podcast that I recorded last week that I spoke of. And I could have just put that shit out, but it got to a point where there was more stuff to talk about. And at that point, you just got to redo it. That's the trouble with recording and not getting it out right away. And that's the problem when you get slammed with crazy knee and car stuff. It's never ready. When it rains, it pours, they say. Anyway, the COVID shit is it's wearing thin. You're seeing it at sports. Kyrie Irving, basketball player of the Brooklyn Nets, is not going to play some of the basketball games because, see, in New York, to be at certain places, you have to be vaccinated. And to be at that fucking basketball game, whether you're a player or not, you got to be vaccinated. So he's just not going to play home game? Like, it's so weird. I just don't. People are freaking out over school mask mandates. And these parents they don't want to be considered domestic terrorist type people, right? They don't want to be considered a problem. They're just, trying to protect their rights and their kids' rights, blah, blah, blah. But they're threatening people. There was a video that I saw on social. It was like a school faculty person trying to drive away in their car. And these dudes are fucking trying to get in her way, yelling at her. We know where you live and all this shit. Like, what the fuck? It's the dumbest shit either. And you see these protests, some of the signs that read, "Let my kids breathe." Like, it's the dumbest shit to me. I'm sorry. It is. Like, I know some people are going to bring up, well, the masks don't stop. Like, people that, like, just because the masks are a good idea doesn't mean it's going to keep you from getting COVID. Same thing with the fucking vaccine. All this shit is supposed to help. reduce it. We're trying to get it down. It blows my mind what's going on. But hey, FDA approved booster shots. We're just getting some booster shots. I know I'll be getting mine when I can. But it's just like the length people are willing to go to. There's this mom in Ohio that fucking became an online minister just so she could write religious exemptions, create a fucking religion, write religious exemptions for people to not get the vaccine, in other words. And it's insane to me. We're just like, it's like some people just want to go backwards, right? Flat earthers. What is this? The fucking 800s or something? That's way back, the 800s. But I mean, what is wrong with people? It's caveman thinking. Flat earth. Same thing with any bigotry you have, racism, misogyny, any of that shit. It's all caveman thinking. It's all in the past. We've moved on. We've evolved. We know the earth is round, just like we know to trust in science. And now there's so many people not doing that because of conspiracy theories, and holy shit. Right? Mind blown. The water bottle did it too. Did you hear that pop? Yeah. Mind blown by the water bottle. Not since the 800s have we seen such stupidity. Not really. There's plenty of stupidity to go around. All the time, every day, all the days, there's stupidity. But I mean, it's I've talked about it on previous pods. I've talked about the masks, what they do to help, vaccines. I've talked about herd immunity. Now you can believe in conspiracy theory shit, or you can look up and research actual facts. But it's basically, there's division, and people look for the shit that's going to line up with their argument. And there's a lot of fake shit out there. So, I mean, it's where we're at. It's unfortunate. It's where we're at. Fox News doesn't help. That fucking OAN network. That fucking place. Then you find out they're funded by AT&T. And man, some people are pissed at AT&T. With that one, how can you fund something like that shows such utter bullshit and just I like people don't understand what all that how dangerous it is to have so much bullshit in the news cycle, like as far as bad advice, bad commentary, bad reporting. It's kind of scary. And meanwhile, if you really want to pinpoint where it starts, it goes to the last president, Mr. Trump, right? Because I feel like, again, I've been through my view on politics several times about the archaic two-party system. I don't give a shit about being Republican or Democrat. You could tell which way I lean based on my morals and beliefs. That don't mean I'm down right with all them motherfuckers. No. But I do think it's kind of ridiculous that Biden continues to lose cool points. Not that he's been perfect, he's done some stupid shit. Okay. Nowhere near on the level as Trump. People just don't, yeah. Ugh, it's frustrating. Biden's really struggling right now, and in some ways, deservedly so. But if we don't do something, something's got to be done about Trump. The whole COVID thing is because of him. It went back to him, as I was saying, as I was starting to say. This he's the one who could have squashed this shit from the beginning. But he didn't want to fuck with it because he figured it would hurt his election re-election, So he wanted to downplay the shit, making it not a big deal. Oh, don't cause panic, whatever. And then you get him buying into what the hell is that the name of that one drug? Chlorocloxacillin was that whatever the fuck. I can't remember. I used to know that shit because it made sure I memorized it. But I smoke a lot of weed, so that shit went right out the brain. But he's doing all this dumb shit, suggesting injecting disinfectant and whatnot, like a jackass. He's just terrible. And so his fan base gets all riled up, more conspiracy shit. Mm. And it's a shame. And now Trump's coming out with he's starting some media brand or something. But he's coming out with a social media app called Truth Social. Oh boy. Oh boy. People don't want to hear it. Some people. But this is some true Hitler-esque shit right here. And what I mean is it's right along the whole idea of fake news, right? And how Trump is kind of anything that he agrees with, that's good news. Fox News, you should check them out. The OAN network, you should check them out because they say stuff Trump likes. So if you're Trump, you like them. And then anytime anybody says something he doesn't like, something bad about him, fake news, whether it's true or not, fake news. That's what he says. So, like, if someone in power really enforces that, you know what I mean? But people seem to forget how close he is with Putin in Russia, or was. Maybe he's not anymore. I don't know. But it's pretty clear Russia's been trying to sabotage our shit for a while. And, you see what they do to some outspoken people over there. Those kinds of people in power like to silence those who oppose them. Not dissimilar at all. Trump, in particular, only wants his side heard. You know, anything against him is fake news. Fake news. We got to do something, people. Hopefully, he goes to prison. Hopefully. Or else the US is in deep shit. Deep shit. We're already deep in shit, right? We really are. the division. I don't know what to do about that now. Because particularly one side doesn't seem to get that it should be, we the people, we the fucking people, we should not be fighting one another. We really shouldn't. Ugh, ugh, it's bothersome. You got all these fucking people in power. They continue to push their own agendas. There's a reason Biden can't get some of the shit he wants passes because the Republicans are going to fight it at every turn. You hear about some of the shit that's going on in Florida, in Miami. Not going to get too deep into that. Maybe I'll talk about that next pod. There's just a lot of corruption and bullshit going on in this country. Just recently, Dems were trying to get this right to vote act passed and denied by the Republicans. And they're trying to counter what some of the Republicans are trying to do in some states. And I've spoken on a lot of that shit. And those states have people believing that's the right thing to do. Make it harder for some people to vote? No. Why is that the right thing to do? It's bullshit. But there's a lot of that going around, This country is just, it's in a bad way. And you see it spreads into sports. John Gruden, coach of the Raiders, out. And why? Well, some emails were leaked about Mr. Gruden, and he had some very racist, homophobic, misogynistic things to say. And he gone. And some people will decry cancel culture. And I'd say, yeah, I've seen a couple instances where maybe things went a little too far, but for the most part, it's not really cancel culture, it's accountability, right? Some people don't see it that way. He said that stuff 10 years ago, so he's a piece of shit. And some of that was as recent as just a few years ago. So the crazy thing with that is, it's all stuff from the investigation into the Washington football team, but yet nobody is getting in trouble there. I find that very hard to believe that everyone is clean, but just John. Yeah, no. Who are you trying to protect, people? Who are you trying to protect? Act like we dumb out here. Wouldn't be able to tell from the way I was talking. And then you get, so you get the people decrying cancel culture, and then it hits Dave Chappelle and the whole on Netflix, his Netflix special. And there was a walkout the other day at Netflix because I believe it was a trans person got let go at Netflix. There was just, I haven't seen the new special. I don't know. But I know I saw some stuff on the last one that I wasn't a big fan of. And I do it. And, I think Chappelle, from what I gathered, his main point is that, it just feels like, these other groups getting special privileges, but Black people have been here the longest, been suppressed the longest, and they're still, don't have a fair deal. And he's right. However, I personally don't believe going after another minority group that's dealing with their own shit as well and their own oppression. I don't think that's the way to go. Now, Who the hell am I to tell Dave Chappelle what to do? No one. He can do whatever the hell he wants. But I would say that's where some of the issues lie, the disconnect. Yeah, I get it. I'm in agreement. It's bullshit that to this day, Black people still struggle with the shit they struggle with. It's fucking crazy. I've spoken about that many times. It's but to me, any of this shit is just, like I said, caveman thinking, any kind of bigotry, prejudice. I'm just kind of over it. Like, why are we hating on people for their skin color, for their ethnicity, their gender? Religion, I might be okay with. You get that's another topic for another day. But you know what I mean. It's so I was a big fan of Dave Chappelle. I was a big fan of Rogan, and I just feel like Chappelle. I'm not. I just can't get on board with what he's saying. And same thing with Rogan, and it's a shame. And to me, some of these comedians decry the cancel culture and things like that because they feel like they can't say anything anymore. Comedy was a safe space. Say what you want. It's jokes. Well, there's some lines you can't cross. And the way I look at it, and I'm someone who is aspiring to be a stand-up comedian. So I'm not someone who's already established as one. I look at it as a challenge more than anything. I mean, the best comedians should be able to figure out, no matter what the environment, should be able to figure out how to make people laugh. I'll see how far I can push things. Push things right to the edge of cancellation. I'm not really worried. I mean, hey, if I were to make it somehow and then get canceled, whatever. I just go back to be doing this, what I'm doing. Same shit. Okay. But if not, lost train of thought. Oh yeah, but getting canceled at like I just don't believe I'd cross a line that I don't believe I get to a point where I get canceled for anything I said. I just don't think I'd ever go there. So, but I'll certainly push the boundaries. Yes, always down for that. Always down for that. Anyway, that's what I got for you for news. Yeah, just a lot of horse shit going on, huh? That's all right. We're going to try and change up the mood. As I said, we're going to get into story time and then end it with the Mad Six. Now, the story time, not quite as humorous as the last story, but it kind of an interesting story and, big life lesson for me. Something I spoke about on the pod a while back over the summer, where I discussed my alcoholism and my journey into recovery, sobriety, and told a little bit of the story then. So I'm going to dive into that after a quick break. Yeah. All right. Story time. So this story is about a little restaurant called the Garden of Eaton. Eaton, yeah. Eatin. Now, it was about a year and a half into my sobriety. Okay. Going to AA, found a nice little club I felt at home and comfortable with. And it's a couple of people. But a couple of old timers approached me about opening up a restaurant and having me run it. They'd wanted to invest in one. And basically, they were on Social Security and they needed me to not only run the restaurant, but shit in my name. I know. Stupid idea. Who would say yes to that? I did. I did. Well, I talked to my mom about it, and we both felt like, hey, we can trust them. Old timers in AA, one of them was even my sponsor. And so we go ahead and do it. Things start out great. I create the menu, we get the place cleaned up, we get other employees, we get everything ready to go. We open up, it's going well. We're just doing breakfast and lunch. We have a particularly big breakfast crowd. They dig what we're doing. They dig what we're doing. But they want to make more money. They want to open up at nighttime. I said it was a terrible idea. Well, we did it anyway. I'm starting to wonder, like, why aren't you listening to, you brought me in for, because I know restaurant shit, but you don't want to listen to me? I remember my sponsor even said, well, the way I look at it is the only time we're losing money is when the doors are closed. Not true, even a little bit, even a little bit. There's something called labor, and like we could go way into it, but yeah. So we end up doing dinners, and then like we'd get a table or two a night, if that. They did these overnight shifts where there was a club across the street where they'd open up when the bar closed or the club closed to feed them. Maybe they brought in this other dude to help cook, and he wanted to get all these, like, he had a buddy that worked at a grocery store, so he was able to get all this cheap meat, and like it was just going completely wacko. And then they want to bring in these gambling machines, like the cherry machines. And I'm like, what the but I don't know enough about that shit. I'm just kind of like, whatever. And things just continue to get worse and worse between all of us, because I'm not making any fucking money doing this, because they're doing all this crazy shit, and all our money's going to their crazy ideas, to the employees, and I'm getting shit for take home. It's becoming a major problem. Next thing I know, I get arrested because of those goddamn gambling machines. Because everything was in my name, and they were legal gambling machines, which I was unaware of. So there I am. I mean, I got bailed out right away, so no biggie. But there I am in deep shit, restaurants in debt, and these guys don't want to do anything to try and fix it. So turns out there was nothing I could really do about the whole situation, because everything was in my name. But the place we were renting from was buddies with the two AA guys. And so I was kind of fucked. I actually locked them out of the restaurant after the whole gambling bust. And there was just, there was nothing for me to really do because they obviously weren't going to let me go back in there. They weren't going to let me run the restaurant anymore. They weren't going to, it was over and there was not shit I could do about it. So I filed for bankruptcy so that I could at least get all the restaurant debt cleared. And then the part that made it the hardest, I'll be honest, Mad Caps, this restaurant was downtown on a corner. I lived downtown on a corner. In fact, the corner opposite this one. And these fucking assholes never apologized, never any of that. No. And a bunch of AA people were all huffed and puffed, but then when the dudes came around, didn't say shit about it, acted all buddy-buddy. It was just ridiculous. And the hardest part was having to see them after they open up a brand new restaurant with some other schmuck, to see them continue to just do their thing. Fuck Ryan. Fucked him over, and yeah, fuck him. Insane, right? Insane. Supposed to be old timers and AA, trustworthy people. It's a shame. They're probably both dead now, but which seems morbid, but I imagine they are not good dudes. Not good dudes. So that, ladies and gentlemen, I had 20 plus years of restaurant experience. That's the only time I've ever owned / ran my own place. And the first couple of days were nice. It gave me glimpses to what it could be, But I'm also not interested in that shit anymore. So I say we go ahead and get into the good old Mad Six, shall we? The Mad Six, yes. And end this pod with a little discussion on horror movies. That's right. Now, my Mad Six is my Mad Six. There's a lot of more recent stuff. Not doing a whole bunch of classics. I just have one classic on here that will suffice for the best, my favorite of the classics, okay? But number 6, Wrong Turn. The original. They just did a remake, but the original. And the Wrong Turn 1 with Eliza Dushku. That movie I quite enjoy because it's crazy. And I have a comedy bit about it. Well, just what are they? These inbred mutants. I have a little bit of a bit about that, so I'm not going to get into it now. But I love Wrong Turn, and I'm interested to see the remake of it because I was a big fan of that particular flick. But that's at number 6, more like an honorable mention. That's kind of how my number 6 spot goes. So number 5 is Poltergeist. That's right. Here's my classic, my favorite classic. Just used to freak me out. The TV, little girl, the lady, the little old lady, freaked me out. That movie. Blair Witch, number 4. I remember when that first came out, I was like, what the fuck happened at the end of the movie? It's so crazy. I, for a day or two, thought it might be real. Like, no, it can't be. Can it? Yes, it is. It has to be. No. Number 3. Probably the last movie to actually truly scare me, House on Haunted Hill. Not the original one with Vincent Price, no. The remake. And that movie just, I don't know. It was The Doctor, if you haven't seen it. And there's a part where like somebody walks into the video monitor area and turns the security guard around and his face is fucking missing. And then he looks back at the video monitor and he sees like the ghost of the Doctor just walking around with his blade and his head is doing the shaking thing like it does in horror movies, like freaky stuff. Freaky stuff. Number 2, Paranormal Activity. Love those fucking movies in general, but that second one, that's how you do a handheld movie, right? It's a Paranormal Activity. They killed it with that shit. But number 1 for me, probably a generational thing. Not that I don't like a lot of the old stuff. Like there's a lot of old Stephen King I like and things like that. But when it comes to horror movies, for my generation and just overall entertainment, where it gave you the horror, a little bit of humor, just good entertainment, good, fright flick all around. Okay. I guess is how I'll put it. But Scream from the opening scene where you're like, hey, I know her. Oh no, she's dead already. To the shocking reveal at the end, it's just a classic. I don't know how you can go wrong with Scream. That's a good one. And people were forever after that movie. Remember the whole what's that? Like that became a huge fucking. What a good movie. Scream. All those movies are good. Highly, highly recommend it. If you want to check them out, this month during Halloween. That's right. So next week, we'll probably get into, we got some good stuff. Zombie movies, Halloween movies. We got a few different ways we could go. But I digress. Go ahead and end it for tonight, my madcap friends. And why? Well, because it's getting late, right? It is getting late. It is getting super late for me. But you guys don't know that. You guys and gals don't know. Because if you're listening to this, it will be Thursday, Friday, something like that. And you will know that it's late at night, late Wednesday night. No, you will not know at all. All right, let's get the hell out of here, madcaps. I'm hungry. I'm tired. That's the wrong music. Oh, that's right. That's right. We just keep going. Oh my goodness. I'm exhausted. Just a cat. But we're going to pile. That's right. All right. Once again, thank you for joining me. Thank you. Check me out on the Instagram and Twitter at Austin. And until next time, stay safe, stay vigilant, stay hot. Until next time, ta-ta for now.